What is up, guys, and welcome back to our simulator rig series brought to you by GTR Simulator. I'm your host Suyong, and today we're going to be diving into one of the biggest upgrades you can make for racing immersion, a triple monitor setup. That's right, 3 screens, more immersion, and way more ways to explain to your family why you haven't left your room in 6 hours. Whether you're grinding iRacing, flying through GT7, or treating Assetto Corsa like it's your second job, this is an important detail to take your sim from good to mind-blowing. Now, let's be honest, most of us just started out with one monitor, which was fine until it wasn't. It has one glaring limitation, the narrow field of view. With a single monitor, your field of view, or FOV, is going to be around 60 to 75 degrees. So go ahead and compare this to the human eye, which can see up to 180 degrees. Let's pause and think about this for a sec. How much of our peripheral vision are we missing out on? Yes, exactly. We're missing out on a good bit. This is basically the equivalent of trying to race with a hoodie pulled over your head. Now, enter the triple monitor setup. 3 screens perfectly angled around you. This panoramic view expands your peripheral vision just like being behind the wheel in real life. With this kind of setup, you can spot cars in your side mirrors, glance towards your corner exit, and feel even more connected to the road. It's about as close as you can get to a real cockpit. And it's not just for looks either. It can actually make you faster. We know that every millisecond counts when it comes to racing, and more visibility will mean better spatial awareness. You'll be able to hit braking lines more accurately, track opponents in your blind spots, and nail those racing lines. You're not just playing a game anymore, you're racing. You're also sweating, and yeah, you're probably just still in your room, but the point is, you're really in the race now. Okay, so now that you're convinced of getting 3 monitors, let's not just go buy 3 large TVs from Costco. Let's talk about specs for a second, because your monitor's refresh rate, resolution, response time, panel type, and monitor size all directly impact your sim performance. Don't worry, I know it sounds like I just said a lot, but it's not too bad if you go through it one by one. First is the monitor's refresh rate. It's not how many times your monitor updates every second, it's usually measured in hertz. A higher amount of hertz will allow you to go through smoother motions and less blur when you're whipping around corners at a bazillion miles per hour. Here's a visual difference between 60 Hz and 144 Hz. At 60 Hz, everything may look more choppy, but when you move to 144 Hz or above, everything will feel fluid, helping your brain process motion more naturally. Also, an important tip, don't forget to change the Hertz on your monitor when you get them. You need to physically enable the setting on your computer. I know a lot of people who don't know this and just sit there with 60 Hz. I'm not quite sure why it's like that, but yeah, whenever you get a monitor, you want to make sure that that's enabled. So next is the response time. This is how fast a pixel changes color measured in milliseconds. You ideally want low numbers here from 1 millisecond to 4 milliseconds. Lower response times reduce ghosting or trailing effects, which is crucial when you're scanning mirrors or checking apexes at high speeds. To clarify, ghosting or trailing occurs when a monitor's pixel struggles to change colors quickly enough, resulting in a blurred or smudged image behind moving objects. It's most notable in fast-paced games, aka maybe the racing game that you're probably playing. And this means that a car in your mirror could turn into a smeared blob. Now, moving on to the monitor panel types, stay with me now because there are a lot of them, or not a lot of them, but just 4 different types. There's the IPS, the TN, VA, and OLED panels. For most sim racers, IPS panels are the go-to. They've got amazing colors, wide viewing angles, and fast response times, which makes them perfect for triple monitor setups where your side screens are angled. Basically, it's bright, clear, and immersive. TN panels are fast and cheap, but honestly, they don't look the best. Colors tend to be more washed out, viewing angles are not optimal. Only consider these if you're racing on a strict budget and care about speed and performance over visuals. VA panels give you really deep blacks and solid contrast, great for night racing, but they have slower response times, narrower angles, so you might notice some ghosting. Decent if you want some nice contrast, and aren't too competitive with performance. Now, OLED panels look amazing with perfect blacks and instant response times, but they're quite expensive and can suffer from burn-in if your HUD stays in the same place on screen. It doesn't quite have that kind of longevity that the IPS panels have, but if you've got some cash and love immersion, OLED is going to be next level. If you needed help on choosing what kind of panel, I would recommend just going with the IPS type. It'll give you the best combo of clarity, color, speed, and viewing angles, all at a reasonable price. IPS panels especially shine in triple monitor setups where wide viewing angles are critical. They function extremely well despite where you're looking from. Now on to size. A sweet spot for most triple monitor setups is either 24 inches or 27-inch monitors. If you're going to go for an ultra wide or 32 inches or more, keep in mind how much desk space and monitor arm space you actually have before getting one. Sometimes bigger monitors are not always the best choice. Then finally, there's resolution, the number of pixels on screen. High resolution means sharper, more detailed visuals, but it'll demand more from your computer. Most common triple monitor setups use 1080p across 3 screens. It keeps performance strong while looking crisp. But if you've got a higher end PC, you could always step it up to 2K or 1440p, but otherwise just stick with the 1080p unless you're a huge visual person. Also remember 4K resolution is available, but that's for the monster PC builds. Now, if you needed any monitor recommendations, I got the AOC 24G2 or the AOC 24G4. They are 24 inches in size, have a resolution of 1080p, refresh rate of 144 Hz, and has a response time of 1 millisecond. They also use IPS panels and roughly average to about $130 to $160 per monitor. They're great entry-level monitors, and it'll give you everything you need at a good price. And then moving on to the mid-level monitors that provide great performance and look even crispier than the previous monitors. We got the Gigabyte G27Q or the MSI G273QF. They are roughly 27 inches in size. They offer 2K resolution or 1440p. And have a refresh rate of 165 Hz with 1 millisecond response times, IPS panels, and are roughly $230 to $300 per monitor. And then we move on to the beasts. These monitors are known for those who want top tier visuals and absolutely insane smoothness. We got the LG Ultra Gear 27GN 950, and then the Asus ROG Swift PG27AQN. These are 27 inches in size, offer 4K resolution or 2K resolution with ultra high refresh rates. Now, depending on the resolution, you could have differing refresh rates. It's going to range from 144 Hz to 360 Hz. Response times will be 1 millisecond, and these offer nano IPS panels or fast IPS panels. Nano IPS panels are known to provide even better colors than standard IPS panels and are just higher end stuff. In terms of price, these go for $500 to $700 per monitor. And just a note, just make sure that your computer can handle running all of these at once when you do purchase them. Now, buying nice monitors is only half the equation. Now that you've thought about ordering your monitors, you'll want to make sure your setup is perfect for you. Everyone will have their own preferences, but let's just cover some of the basics to have a setup anyone can enjoy. Think about it. If you order 3 $600 monitors, but don't have anywhere to put them, what would be the point of having them? First, you should make sure all your monitors are either the same model or the same size, resolution, and refresh rate. Having mismatching panels makes the whole aesthetic look of the setup not match, and ruins the maximum amount of immersion that you can have while racing. For a racing sim rig, you should use a monitor arm. You should want the screens to be angled inwards, usually around 45 degrees on each side. This creates that wraparound cockpit effect. And then your center screen should sit directly in front of your eyes, and your side monitors should align with your natural peripheral vision. Height matters as well. The center of your screen should be at eye level. If the monitors are too low or too high, you'll strain your neck. and your back. If you're going to be sitting in that seat for hours, you need to be able to focus on being comfortable and not feel like you're breaking your neck while staring at your own screen. Ergonomics, people. Setup is key and is a detail that people often slack off on. But remember, you only have to do it once, and then you could just come home from work every day and enjoy the ride. It'll overall be a better experience for you, and you'll thank yourself in the future if everything is set up for your comfort. If you're gonna sit in this thing for hours, it better feel like you could be there for a couple more. Your in-game settings are just as important as the physical setup. Make sure to calibrate your FOV to match your screen layout and distance. Don't just guess, use a tool. And guess what? I happen to have one for you. It's the Sim Racing Cockpit FOV Calculator. It's a website I recommend for figuring out your FOV. It has a simple and intuitive interface that helps you navigate to what you need quickly. Just punch in all the information it asks for, whether it's your monitor size, the angle, or eye distance. And it'll use that and calculate all that for you. Now, I'll be brief with this, but remember that triple monitors are just part of the immersion ecosystem at the end of the day. You can't just sim race with triple monitors alone. Once you've got the visuals locked, you need to bring in the feel and the motion. Force feedback wheels give you road texture, oversteer, and braking feel. And then we got load cell pedals that will give you proper brake pressure. It's a little heavy, but bang. Motion rigs throw your body into the mix by making you feel the acceleration, G-force simulation, and even bumps in your own chair. And there's more. You can add base shakers for engine vibration, sorry neighbors, wind simulation for speed sensation, and ambient LED lighting to match in-game conditions. Put it all together, and your setup doesn't just look good, it feels real. This is probably the closest you can get to racing without a helmet and a suit. You don't necessarily need all these to have an enjoyable time sim racing, but if you could afford to get these, it'll be an experience you can never forget. Your wallet's gonna be crying, but at least you'll have a smile on your face, right? Because that's what matters. So that's it. Triple monitor setups aren't just for show. They're a true performance tool that transforms your rig into something special. If you're serious about sim racing, this is one of the best investments you can make while upgrading your setup. That being said, thank you guys so much for watching once again. If you found this helpful, we would appreciate a like, comment, and subscribe for more gear tips and racing nonsense. If you have a question about monitors or anything else, go throw them in the comments. Do you think triple monitors are worth it? Let us know. Bye!